Hello everyone, today we're going to discuss why one might be provoked to leave the Destiny community. This reason is based on a lot of my past experiences while being a member of the community, as well as, a reason I've considered leaving myself. This video is meant to be constructive criticism more than anything else, to help Bungie make Destiny better. Because at the end of the day, even though sometimes, like in my last video, I seem like I'm upset with the game, because I am, it's mostly to, again, give criticism so that it can be better. Heading into what is to be the final expansion of the Light and Dark saga, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of underline this reason and why people might decide to not even play Final Shape. So, without further ado, let's highlight a reason why you might drop Destiny like COD dropped Nick Mercs. Bungie has experimented with ways to avoid power creep in Destiny. For example, in Destiny 1, D1 vanilla gear couldn't be used beyond a certain point. You simply couldn't infuse that gear up to the light level required to do activities at an efficient rate, unless, you wanted to increase the difficulty of that activity by putting yourself at a disadvantage. You can imagine how gear that people spent hours getting and not being able to use it for later expansions may have bothered some people. While it is important for a looter shooter like Destiny to keep loot new and fresh, some people are sentimental about guns, as you may have gathered with sunsetting. The Destiny Content Vault was created to help with this issue in Destiny 2 against I think most people didn't like this idea at first, but it was an idea of, vaulting certain planets, maps, weapons, and stuff, so that the size of the game was a bit easier to manage for the devs, because they simply just couldn't patch the game at an efficient rate because the game was too big. I don't know too much about maintenance for a game like Destiny, but we just took them at their word and we were like, okay, this content vault is being made to help the game get patched faster, so that's fine, So what happened, and not only were these planets and maps, destinations vaulted, but we also had certain weapons and armor pieces that were sunset and completely taken out of the game. So as soon as, the VC, Destiny Content Vault, whatever, as soon as it started to kind of fade away, they didn't really vault stuff anymore, and they're like, we're not going to sunset because the backlash was a lot. They started bringing back those same destinations, those same weapons, and a lot of people were like, wow, really seems like Bungie just cycled this out of the game so they could charge us for it later. And it makes sense. It only adds to the fire. Personally, I've paid for Galahorn, or at least the ability to get Galahorn, 3 different times. Vanilla Destiny, Rise of Iron, Destiny 1's last expansion, and the 30th anniversary package. So I can definitely see the frustration there. It's not to mention other guns that have made returns like Spare Rations, Callus Mini Tool, and so on. Sunsetting definitely did a big number on people leaving the game for removing some of their favorite gear. And it just simply leads into how Bungie kind of slaps people in the face for investing their time into Destiny. And that's what people will view this as, taking away gear and weapons that either took a long time to get or completion of a difficult activity. It hurts, especially when it's a gun that you've used a lot, and again, it just hurts. So this may seem irrelevant to the current state of Destiny 2 and Season of the Deep, because sunsetting isn't a thing anymore. But I do think that there's a lack of respect on Bungie's part for a player's investment in terms of time. You look at Crucible or Gambit, and you can see that because Gambit nor Crucible has gotten any love in a very long time. Now, the Gambit community isn't that big, but it's enough. The Crucible community needs so much assistance. I mean, there are people who have invested so much time into that with nothing more than empty promises. And, you know, it may be necessary for Bungie to continue on just the core game and ignore stuff like Crucible, but I don't think that justifies leaving an entire part of the community without any kind of help or resolution. And, you know, you can kind of see a pattern, you know, sunsetting, they kind of ignored the community there a little bit. We didn't like it at all. And man, the outcry from people like True Vanguard, who just released a great video on the state of Destiny 2, I'll put that in the description. But you can hear the cries for anything, and just crickets from Bungie. You know, I hope that after Final Shape, Bungie will take a hiatus, so they can take a long, hard look to and focus their attention on the future of Destiny, not just development of whatever comes next. And simply because it feels like there's a lot of fatigue on both sides of the game, players and the devs. The players mostly because the content has been lacking in some areas, but you know, the devs deserve a break too. It's hard working on a game for 10 plus years. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening to my Destiny TED Talk. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and let me know your own thoughts below if you're so inclined to do so. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys all next time.